So we find out this episode that Tatsuya is a special officer and he has a connection with the military. I guess this is my last review and I'm glad I'm correct, but most likely we still don't know the full-length story behind Tatsuya's past and we don't know everything about him yet, so most likely we'll find out more about him as this arc goes on. Speaking of this arc, this episode was pretty much just a setup episode. It was just setting up everything in this episode, and we really haven't got to see the main villain introduced in this episode. I mean, we got to see the Crimson Prince last episode, but we didn't get to see him actually appear in this episode. But most likely that's going to be the main villain. We do kind of get a hint at the villain though, No Head Dragons. It's like a different organization that's going to be at this 9 schools competition, so I'm interested to find out about these people and see exactly what their motives are. Are they the same as Blanche? I don't really know, but this episode, I like it. I like the animation, and there was a lot of mysteries revealed, and it just goes to show you how epic Tatsuya really is. Now, there's one thing that bugged me in this episode, but I'll get to that last. I want to talk about the epic stuff. So right at the end of this episode, we see that Tatsuya is activating a new device that controls gravity. He has done the impossible, as Miyuki said in this episode. So, Tatsuya, as we know, could not do stuff like this. He can't use abilities really well, but for him to be able to maneuver and fly like with anti-gravity, it just shows you that his skill level with making different technology. And he was able to make a good CAD, I'm guessing, for Miyuki to be able to use in the competition, so I like that a lot. But there's one thing though that is brought up in this episode that just goes to show you the skill level of Tatsuya. When he tries to do a CAD test, like put a CAD schematics into another CAD, we see him get onto a keyboard, and he's manually doing it with a keyboard that everybody's freaking out because he was doing it irregular and all that, because everybody usually does it automatic. If anyone ever plays any games, you should probably know if anyone does something manual, and they've already been betrayed as a fucking boss, manual usually means that it's even better and they're even more badass. It shows how skilled they are, because manual takes a lot more skill and requirements to be able to use than an automatic machine like Magic or something, how they're probably used to. So Tatsuya once again proves that he's a badass. This episode had a lack of fighting. That's one thing though this episode didn't have, but it didn't need fighting. This episode was mainly just, like I said, a setup episode, which I enjoyed. Now, here, let's get into the thing I did not like about this episode, okay? As you all know by now, I really don't like the bro-type sis relationship we see going on here. It doesn't feel like it's needed in this series so far. I mean, most likely has some form of important role in the series later on, but right now, it just feels like it's just overused out of no reason. I mean, the entire section, when you see the little lolly girl just talking to Tatsuya, which her name, I can't remember her name for some reason, but pretty much she's talking to Tatsuya, and we see, you know, Miyuki on the computer, and you see she's getting pissed off. Those antics, I understand they're meant to bring comedy, but was there really any point in that, honestly? I mean, we get to see, you know, the girl actually just, you know, fangasming over his guns and his holsters and stuff, but besides that, Miyuki really had no important role to play in the entire scene, except, you know, getting jealous. So, that scene just, I don't know, something about I do not like, but like I said, that's me nitpicking, and I know most likely the emotions that Miyuki feels for Tatsuya will be explained later on. Overall, good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the 9 schools competition. I wonder exactly how this is going to turn out. I wonder what the rules and what the actual requirements are for the 9 schools competition. So, I'm interested to see where it goes. Tell me your thoughts on this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.